For Leonore to survive this birth, she cannot roll the numbers 1 or 11. That's it. So. No. Oh my god. She's already been pled for once before. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, for the baby to survive, it cannot roll the numbers 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, or 20. Oh my god. Fuck. Sul, hello, and labas. Welcome to another episode of the Payne Family Ultimate Decades Challenge. The year's 1379. It's day 3. I think it's Wednesday. And we're here in Spain with a household we have not seen for a minute, the Floreses, because as you saw from the beginning, tragedy has struck here. If you've forgotten who the Floreses are, the one who ties us to the Flores is Iris. Iris is Dovile's only surviving daughter. She was named after her aunt, Iris, who was Dovile's very close friend. They were like best friends. And she ended up getting autonomously asked to marry Fernando Flores, if I'm not very much mistaken, who is a nobleman who fell in love with her when she and her brother Heath moved here when they were adventuring around. She was very close with her brother Heath. He was with Inga Blackwood, and they have 4 surviving children together. Fernando has 2 siblings. He has a brother and he has a sister, Catherine. Catherine, where is she? Catherine is apparently working at Hamburger Man. That's funny. But Catherine had a child with, she basically is the mother of Raphael, is what I'm trying to say. So the families are kind of interconnected in that way. Fernando and Iris at one point had 3 daughters together. The youngest one passed away at one of their birthdays. Lyra failed her teenage birthday and has an indeterminate amount of time left. And their oldest daughter, Leonore, who was named after Fernando's mother, she passed away basically in the background of the last episode when she failed her birth role. So she had her first child. She actually was married to a guy named Lane of Lancaster. He, of course, is a Lancaster. Nobody really got along with him. This was like a political marriage that nobody was that excited about. He and Leonore got along fine, but it wasn't like a great love match or anything. And they got married. She got pregnant. She went into labor, she failed the role, and the baby failed the role as well. And Leonore had already been pled for once before in her life. Her sister Lyra has not been pled for once before, but not to get too crazy or anything, but today is the day for Lyra. Lyra has been having troubles breathing for a while now. She has struggled with breathing. There have been a few close calls over the years, and she is getting kind of worse and worse as time goes on. And the trauma of losing her sister, who she was quite close with, has not helped the situation any. So it seems like, oh, that was cute. He autonomously flirted with her, even though he's super depressed. Fernando is taking all of this really hard. He is not happy. He is very upset. I mean, I'm very upset. We're gonna let Lyra go ahead and have her food, and then we're just gonna go ahead and do the thing. Like, we're not going to hang around and wait to see what it is that happens. I'm so sorry, Iris. It's just that this would be such a nice picture if you weren't in your cold weather. Where? Can I change you, please? Gosh, she's so pretty. She and Fernando both are adults. They're fully grown adults, but they're just such an attractive couple, aren't they? Something that's kind of interesting that I'm pretty sure we haven't yet spoken about is how there was a medieval custom called the courtesy of England, and that meant that a man who married an heiress would keep her entire inheritance after her death for the rest of his life, so long as they had a child that lived long enough to take a single breath. This was different than women. Women were not, they didn't have the same protections, but they did always hold a third of their late husband's lands, and they did not have to have had a child together in order for them to receive that inheritance. I've applied that to Spain just because I thought it was an interesting rule and because I wasn't the biggest fan of Lane. I was actually going to introduce the fact that there's like quite a lot of drama between him and the family during this episode. We were already planning to come here before the tragedy happened, but here we are. I bring this up because Lane was supposed to inherit the lands that Leonor was going to inherit as the oldest daughter. But because their child didn't live long enough to take a single breath, he doesn't actually inherit anything. All of this will go to Lyra and whoever she ends up marrying instead. So I'm going to have you come down here. Fernando, please don't. I need you to use your grief and to please save your daughter. Please. I do think that it is easier to save teens when they pass away from an urban myth. Yeah, you can be gloomy, my dude. And so sometimes I do have them pass away from the urban myth because I do feel like that is easier to plead for. I think that Grimm is usually more understanding of that. I could be wrong. It could just be coincidental, but like I'm kind of that's my perspective and I am going with it so that I feel like I've got some control over the situation. Obviously, we don't have any control over the situation, but I like to feel that I've got some control. Oh, she's angry. She's not even like sad. She's like angry about this. She's pissed. She's like, what the heck? And I was just saying the other day in the comments when I was talking to somebody in the comments that it's so crazy because the gray strokes actually are pretty secure. Okay, who do we want to do this? Okay, he's having a self-discovery. Oh, please. I flipped a coin. I couldn't decide what to do. I always get told, but I always forget what it is. Wait a second, Grim. Oh my goodness. Grim, please. Please, Grim? No! My God. Okay. Grim, you jerk face. Oh no, it's another line down. So here's my thoughts. I know that last episode I was like, should we try and save Vilcus? I'm really strongly leaning towards bringing back either Lyra or Leonor. I'll put their two pictures on a screen so that you can see both of them. I am happy to run a poll to see should we bring back one of the Flores daughters. It's going to be simply on YouTube. It should be up around now. It's going to say something like, should we bring her back? It'll be yes or no. And that way it won't like spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen the episode yet. If you think that we should, you guys will have to let me know which one of them because we can't bring back both. And I don't think that we should try and hold on to Vilcus. We should just accept that he goes on his way. I'm happy to bring back one of them, though, because if not, that's the entire Flores line gone. It's over. And while I understand that's the challenge, that at some point we have to let go of every line except for the main family and a handful of other ones. And right now we have too many Sims. Like, I don't know. It just feels really early to lose another entire line, especially when the Hoggins are hanging on by a thread. The Brewers are still hanging on by a thread. So that's another two lines that might be going. I don't know. You guys have to let me know your thoughts and ideas in the comment section below and over on that poll. But like, dang, dude. Like, dang. How did this happen? All right, well, a big change, but here we are at the war camp over in in France in Moonwood Mill, Werewolf World. And like I mentioned last episode, I'm trying to do this as a getaway system. Alaric is the host. He has a washerwoman who works here with him, and all of the knights and the mercenaries are showing up. Cade got drafted to come and work as the blacksmith. Of course, all of the knights got drafted to come. Well, they have to come because they're knights. Of course, actually, I don't know that I've said this yet, but Gunther Stenson, who's typically a pirate, he actually decided to come as a mercenary. And so he's here. Some of the children, like Richard, are here as squires, and that's exciting for them. Beatrix got rolled to come, Brenna rolled to come, etc., etc. And these guys are just kind of all here. Oh, yeah. And so I've gone ahead and I don't know where I've put the roles. They might be on Patreon or they might be at the end of this video, but you'll see everyone as we're going along. But we are here with these guys who are, doing war stuff or whatever. The blunts are here. I understand that they should be pronounced blunt, not blount, but I always say it wrong. And so everybody's here, like doing their jobs and kind of getting up to what they get up to. All of these kind of say free time because each of them has their own roles. But like I said last time, I was embarrassed of my own war camp after the last time that I saw Citrine Simmer, so I went ahead and remade it. This is a Larix. I'm sorry, fella. This is a Larix room, though. Okay, well, other than that, so yeah, they're all kind of here. They're all hanging out. I don't know why, but Beatrix in particular, she has a really hard time getting over here. Oh my gosh, I forgot that he had that fight with the Grim Reaper. She is one of the ones who just kind of only shows up sometimes. I don't really understand why, but she is one of the workers and she's responsible for making the food at an entire time. So, my God, Kennard is really going ham on this. So, it is a little bit annoying that she doesn't show up properly, but I think that what we'll be doing for the rest of the episode is just kind of being here and seeing how this getaway system works, seeing how it works for these guys here at the war camp. Cage should really be doing blacksmithing stuff, but he has the option to also exercise and things. Oh my gosh, Godwin, look at you go. And something that's interesting that I've noticed is that the hosts, they kind of just stand around. They don't like follow their own rules, like the things that they're supposed to be doing. They just kind of like, I don't know, lurk around or whatever. A bunch of our noble sims are here, and I don't know why, but Althea decided that she wanted to come along, I guess because her brother is here and she didn't want him to come off alone, so. But yeah, it's really strange. I've noticed that the host doesn't do anything. They don't autonomously interact. They just kind of stand around. They don't do the things that they're supposed to do and mentor others. But maybe that's just, my game is a bit slow these days. I've said in the past, although it got cut out, that I think that it's getting to the point that there's been so many save file bugs that have been around since I started doing this challenge that I think that at this point it's getting to the moment where we probably have to move everybody into a new save file once the patches have dealt with some of those really big errors. And it might be that, okay, cool. And it might be that it's getting to the point that I'm going to have to move everybody over into a new save file. I don't know. I don't know yet. But that's definitely something that I'm preparing for in case it happens. Just because it's getting a little bit slower in the save file. It doesn't respond as quickly. Oh, thank you, Kate. I think that he just gave us some tip or whatever. The adventure awaits things, though, they do tend to run much slower than other things. And so I think that that's just the nature of an event like this that has so many moving parts. Like the schedule is very complicated, basically. Oh my goodness, Alvetta. So this is Alvetta. She lives here. She is Alaric's little washer lady. And so she's here to help out with the war camp. I actually was looking at something the other day that was talking about what the jobs of people were, like if you were a part of a war camp. And it's interesting, like the video I was watching about this was mentioning that the army that gathered for the siege of Calais was full with so many people that it actually looked like a large village or a city, not a small village, not a small town, a large village as it was moving around. Camps at this point in time, they often had 25,000 soldiers with followers, with workers, and the population of a medieval war camp could be larger than a city like the city of Bordeaux. They had people who were like traders who followed the war camp and sold people the things that they need. These were called settlers. Sometimes armies actually had rules about how many settlers could be a part of the war camp, depending on like just how many people were there and stuff. But women were also a big part of war camps. Okay, everybody has left. Hello, where did everyone go? Is anybody making food? It does worry me. Oh, somebody's showering. Kate is showering, and so is Kennard. Are you okay? Dude, why are you crying? Thank you, Lucia, for cooking. You're such a good sim. So, women were a massive part of war campaigns. Of course, there were women who were there specifically to help tend to the men's needs in the medieval times. People thought that women who worked with men like that, I'm talking around the point here. Hopefully, you can pick up on what I'm saying, but it was believed that men needed to have women to help them have an outlet for certain feelings, or else they would actually just like riot and burn cities down. Like it was believed to be a necessary part of life in the medieval era. So there were women who did that duty, and they were a necessary part of camp. Of course, women also did laundry work, needlework, and nursing. Nursing was considered to be women's work at the time. A lot of the women who would go on to war camps, though, they would be widows or they would be facing extreme poverty. But some of the time, they were wives or other women as well. Interestingly enough, cooking was actually not considered women's work in the medieval period, but they would do it at war camps if they felt like it was helpful. Women also did other jobs that we wouldn't necessarily usually think about being women's jobs. Like they would dig ditches, they would gather firewood, they would mount cannons over terrain, they would carry equipment during marches so that the soldiers could carry their weapons to be better prepared in case they were attacked. And women actually also pillaged towns, villages, and the battlefield. It was women who were in charge of finding and holding the plunder on the dead bodies for the men. And after the battle, they also prepared the dead for burial. So they had very complex and complicated roles that they played in war camps. And it defied sort of just a simple one thing or another thing. It was a really interesting sort of, I don't know, mix of things that women would do. I kind of thought it was eating time for some reason, but I guess maybe not. So the way that this sort of camp is set up is that Mr. Howard, that is not your bed. They do, oops, sorry. They do change beds on their own. Like I'll assign all of the beds and they just like don't use them. But this is supposed to be Althea's room. She is the lady, and so she's supposed to have her own private chambers. That's really nice. Over here, this is supposed to be sort of like where the women sleep. But I guess Grayson Howard, who's a knight from the neighborhood, he can live there too. It's interesting because at first I forgot to build bathrooms and that caused a really big issue. So, oh, now it's feeding time. Well, listen, these things happen. I really like it when it's mealtime because all of the Sims gather around and they sit in all of the chairs, and it's like a really nice sense of community, I think. It's really cute. But I guess sometimes they go ahead and sit out here. Gunther loves working out. And so I don't know what the Sims will get up to. I'm kind of leaving it up to them and their own autonomy. Alaric is the one in charge, like I said. Alveda kind of does whatever task is required of her. And oh, I thought it got a lot smoother. And so we're just kind of here to see what these guys get up to throughout the entire war camp. But I think we'll be here for today and tomorrow just so that we can see how it works. I don't know how frequently we'll stay here after that before they come home, but I think it'll be interesting. Beatrix, you don't need a second helping. They do kind of overeat while they're on getaways, though. That's the only thing. But see, look, isn't it so cute? We've got like a table over here of Sims eating together. Everybody always eats too quickly to really get a good shot of them, but we've got a whole other table over here of our Sims eating together. A mixture of ladies, lords, washer people. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool just hanging out and seeing what they get up to. I do like how the retreat system offers that ability. Like the Sims have a lot more autonomy, it seems like, with the retreat system. I'm gonna let these guys just sort of get up to what they get up to. When Beatrix rolled to go, I was kind of hoping that she would like make a connection for herself. She is a bit wild, like I've mentioned before. Like she enjoys hooking up with other Sims, and that's totally fine. But she hasn't really made a meaningful connection where it seems like she is trying to actually start a relationship with another Sim. I'm really hoping that she will do that for herself. Lucia as well, if she like meets somebody and they really click, they really connect, I'm happy for her to go ahead with that too. And same with Althea, but Althea, she only is not married yet because she ended up coming on war campaign. She is a noble lady, so she should really have gotten married quite early, but I guess she wanted to come with her whole family, like Edwin and her brother and her cousins, Adam the Third. Wait, where is Adam the Third? Has anybody seen that guy? Yeah, we've got a couple different classes of people. We've got our noble women, we've got our knights and mercenaries, we've got the heads of camp, we've got washerwomen, we've got the workers, and we've got squires. We've got two squires. That's Pompey, little Pompey, rhymes with Stompy, and Richard Jacobson, who is Edwin's younger son. Man, you guys, can you believe that Maritza passed away? Rip, dude. Like, she was such a good sim. I loved her. And she was just a townie. She was a townie that was auto-generated, and she was so full of personality and so cool. Edwin must be so depressed about that. I've like playtested the law a few times, and once Edwin passed away because of doing too many exercises for a sim his age, like doing exercise that much, would you go ahead and clear the arrows from the target? And clear the arrows from the target. And I've offered up as one of the options for the Sims to choose to partake to have relations with other Sims. So it doesn't always, I've playtested, like I said, a few times. They don't always choose to have relations with each other, but occasionally they do choose to do that. Although mostly they don't, is the truth of the matter. But I think everybody's gone to bed. So we're going to let these guys all go to sleep. And Lark's going to go to sleep. Oh my gosh, Beatrix went and is sleeping in Edwin's bed. That's so funny. That's where she is. So who's sleeping in the tent then? Must be somebody that Edwin is friends with. Otherwise, he wouldn't sleep in the tent with them. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll let these guys sleep, and in the morning when stuff starts to happen again, I'll bring you guys back. Ignore that warehouse in the background. I was really sad when Cade got called to go away to the war because he aged up last episode or 2 episodes ago. I can't remember now. And he actually really is very attracted to his... Cade, where did you go? I thought you were just doing push-ups. He's really attracted to his new wife, and she's really attracted to him as well. And they've already got good compatibility, which is quite nice. So I think that's really good that they've got that kind of a relationship. I was worried it was going to be quite a loveless relationship, but I think that they're going to be able to build something beautiful out of their friendship with each other. Oh yeah, I keep trying to make him clean up just because I hate to see it. I hate to see everything be dirty, but I mean, what can you do? Why don't you go ahead and joke with them? Maybe that'll help yourself to be happy. Who knows? I didn't think that holidays could happen while we were at a war camp. But okay, no problem. He wants to make a resolution and do fire? That's possible. Why don't you make a resolution of getting fit? Everybody's waking up. Everybody's off to do whatever they're going to get up to doing. I don't know who's doing what. Oh, Beatrix is going over to make some breakfast for everyone. Good job, my dude. Is anybody gonna go and clean up the dishes? Because it's kind of a wreck over here. I mean, that is somebody's job. I just don't know whose job it is, you know? That's another thing, though, that I've noticed about the residential retreat system is that a lot of the time they go back to sleep, even though I guess it is technically like taking care of their needs. Oh my gosh, Cade. I am going to have a Lark clean up in the end because Lucia is supposed to be doing it, or Mary Bogart could be doing it, or Brenna Brewer, who I guess hasn't shown up for some reason. It is her birthday today, so maybe that's why, but any of them could be doing it. Oh, there's Adam Fitzroy. I did not see him at all yesterday. I wonder where he was hiding. I guess while we watch Beatrix cook, what we could talk about is that, we've said in the past that at this point in time, England really didn't have much of a navy to speak of. And the past couple of years, the 100 Years' War, there's been a real issue for England that France and Castile have aligned with each other because they have a combined naval force that's quite powerful. And they're just like pummeling the English coastal cities. Like they're a real terror to England, and England's not able to do very much to stop it from happening. In 1379, a lord named John Arundel took off with an English fleet to try and support their ally, the Duke of Brittany, who was being attacked by the French. According to a major chronicler of the time, the winds were against them. The ships were harmed. Three of the ships actually wrecked, and more than 80 men drowned. Look at all these guys over here just eating some food and chitter-chattering with each other. Brenna, happy birthday. It's your birthday today. I haven't done your rolls yet, so I don't know if it's going to be a success, but I'm hoping for you that it is. A lot of these Sims are up for marriage real soon. Like Theo could get married. He doesn't have to, though. He's a guy, so he doesn't have to. It's complete double standard at this point in time. Beatrix could have gotten married, I think. John Blount's coming up for being able to get married. Adam the Third definitely could get married. Oh, Kate is quite sick. Look at him over there. He's got the blotchies. Yikes. It's really interesting today because a bunch of Sims are eating outside. A bunch of Sims are eating inside. We've got a few randos around. Brenna's just hanging out over here. And I think I will help Alaric to achieve his dream of a woohoo in a bush. I think I will, because his fun is pretty low. I kind of wish that like the Sims who were the major and command ones, that they would just go ahead and manage themselves, but what can you do? What can you do? I guess it's because normally you wouldn't be playing as the host. You'd instead be playing as the people who are participating in it, I guess. Is that true? Oh my gosh, look at little Richard Jacobson over here with his little hat and his little spiky armor. Oh, kid. You're so cute. Sorry that your mom passed away. I know that that's really rough. So he makes 636 simoleons for this. Oh, yes. The exercise time has begun. This is my favorite part. Look. Go, Theo, go. Theo is one of my favorites. Low-key, I was kind of hoping that he and Beatrix would link in together. Like, I'm just saying that Theo is super cute. And I don't know who wouldn't want to get with Theo. That's just my opinion. One woman's opinion. Perhaps biased. Actually, all of our Sims are quite cute. John is quite cute. Adam is quite cute. Somebody said that they thought he was the most attractive Sim. Kennard's a little creepy, but he's cute too. Oh, sorry that your child didn't make it, but your wife at least did. Kate's obviously very cute. Alaric, would you like to just get up to something of your own? Oh my goodness, I love it when they drop that. Man, you know what else is interesting is I was poking around in The Sims' relationship panels, and I couldn't help but notice that Kennard and Theo despise each other. They absolutely hate one another. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but they just despise each other with a passion. They can't stand each other. And I think that's really interesting because something must have happened at some point, and it must have happened in the background, but I could not tell you what. There isn't really that much to talk about here. We're mostly just kind of hanging around and seeing what goes on and kind of enjoying the vibes of the war camp. Poor Adam. Oh, John's getting better. Look at you go. I don't know. Oh my gosh, Althea, go for it, girly. She's supposed to be cross-stitching. That's like her major task right now, cross-stitching or playing music or whatever. But if she wants to do archery, she can do archery. I say all people should be able to defend themselves. especially the women at the war camps. Like, you never knew what was going to happen. So I say, do what you got to do, girly. Do what you got to do. Oh my gosh, Alaric just came out of grief. Oh, congrats. Alaric, instead of standing there, do you want to go for a jog or something? Like, just go do something, you know? Oh my goodness, Edwin is playing rock, paper, scissors with a Richard. Poor Richard, he's having a rough time. Beatrix is over here talking to Stuart Horn. He's been in the save file for a minute. Thank you, Brenna, for helping out around here. Yikes. But yeah, isn't this so fun? You guys will have to let me know what you think about this whole system for the war camp and if you like it or if you think that it's kind of silly. Either way is fine. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Speaking of your thoughts, though, as well, I am going to put up a poll on Patreon. This poll is going to happen in 2 stages. So the first one is going to be up on Patreon, and it's going to have all of the side households who are eligible to be the ones who are eliminated in the Peasants' Revolt. So if you don't know about Morbid Gamers rules, in 1381, there's this event called the Peasants' Revolt. And when this happened, a bunch of peasants were they were gotten rid of as a punishment for going against the king. We'll talk more about like what exactly happens when it comes up. But one side household is going to be sort of given up. We're going to lose them. They're going to not make it through the Peasants' Revolt. And I don't really want to make that decision. So I'm going to put up on Patreon first. And then after that, I'll put up the ones that are narrowed down, that it's narrowed down to from, because Patreon allows you to put up like, I think 20 options, but YouTube only allows you to put up 4. So I would already have been making a decision, or at least a strong influence on the decision, if I put it on YouTube first. So you don't have to be, you definitely don't have to be a paid member. I don't think you have to be a member at all to go over there and to vote. So go ahead and cast your vote for which sim family you think should be the one that doesn't make it through the Peasants' Revolt. Ah, what beautiful weather. Imagine actually it's quite cold. It looks like winter is coming. Is that true? Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, our 2 washer ladies just became soulmates. Alveda and Mary, they're soulmates. Well, congratulations. You found your soulmate, and that's good for you. Good for you, lady. These guys are all just going to go ahead and have a meal. But on that note, I think we are about to the end of the episode, the end of the year as well, 1379. So in the background, the things that have happened, well, actually, I don't know. For Brenna Brewer to survive her adult birthday, she has to avoid rolling the numbers 3, 6, 11, 13, or 18. Oh my gosh, she didn't make it? Okay. I'm going to roll a d10 to see how many years does she have left. You know, sometimes I do feel really absurd for my obsession with lighting, but then again, I don't know what to say about it. I just don't. So I'll show you guys if anything else important happens while I'm here. I'll hang out with them to see if anybody gets up to any chaos, because I love the chaos. But in the background of this half year, in case nothing else does happen, the things that did happen is that Osbert Woodhamp's wife, Yaroslava of Kiev, had a child, their first child. She was fine, and the baby was fine, and they named the baby Kira in honor of Osbert's mother. Joan de Fenwick, who's also a Woodhamps, also had a child. However, while Joan was fine, the baby unfortunately didn't make it. However, James Greystroke's new wife, Thera Greystroke, did survive her young adult birthday totally fine. But on that note, overall, it's been a pretty happy half year aside from the tragedy at the Flores' home. So again, let me know what you think we should do about that in the poll over there, and go check out the poll over on Patreon. 2 polls at the same time. I know it's very confusing, but the one on Patreon will close at a certain point, and then we will pick it up over on YouTube to really choose the final Sims who won't be surviving that. But in the meantime, I hope that you've enjoyed this part. Thank you to everyone who has watched. Thank you to everyone who's commented. Thank you for everyone who goes over on Patreon and is over there as well. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.